The Home is Pete Davidson's newest horror mystery thriller film about a young man named Max, played by Davidson, who just gets into trouble constantly. When he was a little bit younger, he lost his closest foster brother to suicide, never gained closure from that. To keep him out of prison, his foster parents set up a deal to get him to do a little bit of community service as the new super in a local nursing home. While there, he begins to befriend some of the elderly, while also noticing there's a lot of creepy older folks too. The deeper that he digs into the weirdness of the nursing home, the darker and weirder things ultimately become. You know what? There are so many movies out there featuring the creepy kid trope that I'm honestly surprised there's not more creepy old people movies. There's a few, yeah, but not as many for it to have its own stereotype like with the kids. Yet, I would argue in real life, old people are creepier, and seeing them that way is easily more believable when you see it in a movie, and relatable to those of us that have kept our distance from certain older people throughout our lives. If I were to make a comparison for The Home, I would say that it feels kind of similar to Shutter Island, except instead of a policeman investigating a missing persons case in an insane asylum, you have a troublemaker trying to figure out what the heck is going on in a mysterious nursing home. But in both movies, you got a mystery that gets crazier and crazier the deeper that you unravel it. And both movies contain some truly creepy individuals and situations. The idea as to what's going on in the movie and why is so incredibly bonkers. But based on the atmosphere of the rest of the movie, I can kind of buy into what they're selling. The entire third act is just as bonkers, but it's so much fun at the same time. It's kind of a weird movie to try to break down in a review because it's so odd. It's very clear to me that the people working on the movie were just having a good time while putting the thing together though. And that kind of deserves its own set of praise. It is an interesting, fun little film that in general I recommend just for how odd and unsettling it is. Even the weird endgame that is going on behind the scenes is interesting enough to warrant a discussion. I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention Pete Davidson, who I think was probably wrong for the role. He wasn't necessarily horrible with how he approached it, but we all know how Pete Davidson is in movies, right? He's often just playing himself. And while parts of that worked for this character, I think that more often than not, the role required something a little bit deeper and more complex. We're talking about a deeply relatable character that has gone through a little bit of trauma, causing him to act out, but he's also a soft, loving character that immediately warms up to the seniors in the nursing home too, before of course getting a lot more aggravated as to what secrets lie in the nursing home, all of which probably would have been a little bit better with a different actor. Look, some people love him, some people hate him. I just feel the same way I do with everybody else. Put them in a role that feels like they belong. Challenge them a little bit to step out of their comfort zone, but not too much. And in the case of this film, The Home, I just think that it would have been a better movie with somebody else in the lead. So sue me. In a lot of ways, the film not only reminded me of Shutter Island, but also a little bit with Get Out, particularly with the crazy backstory of what's actually going on at the nursing home and how much danger he puts himself in every single day that the deeper he digs into it. I honestly enjoyed the movie in general. It's nothing deep or meaningful. It's never going to be as memorable as Shutter Island or Get Out, but I could still see a good number of people walking away from the movie, enjoying it for what it is, adding it to their physical collection at home, and rewatching it every couple of years. I'll give it 74 out of 100 possible stars. For me, that's a B-. Letter grade. Overall, if you're a fan of horror films, especially those with a weird mystery at the heart of the film with a super bonkers reveal at the end, I think that you'll honestly get a kick out of the movie. Everything regarding cinematography, editing, lighting, color, performances, pretty much everything technical was all relatively normal. Nothing really stood out there for me. It's definitely more of a premise-forward horror film than it was about attempting to impress you in too many things on a technical side. But have you seen The Home? Leave your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. What's your favorite Pete Davidson movie? And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whenever and whatever that may be on. And until then, peace out.